The story opens in a dimly lit room as the investigators, Jenna, Mike, and Carl, huddle over glowing monitors. They've followed rumors about the TikTok challenge that invokes the Candyman, saying his name 5 times while staring into a cracked mirror under red LED lights. The challenge went viral after a video showed a girl supposedly attacked by an unseen force. Intrigued by the digital mythos, they decide to investigate further and document their findings. Jenna proposes they try the challenge themselves to see if anything happens. All agree, although trepidation lingers beneath their curiosity. As darkness envelops their studio, an eerie quiet falls over the room. The investigators set up cameras to capture any anomalies. Mike positions the cracked mirror beneath the red glow, its jagged lines casting distorted reflections. They can hear each other's anxious breaths as the atmosphere thickens with unease. Jenna holds her phone to record, while Carl fidgets nervously, casting suspicious glances around the room. The moment is tense as they slow their breathing, preparing for the ritual. The ritual begins. One by one, they chant Candyman until the 5th and final time. The air grows colder, shadows deepen, and something primal claws at the edges of their senses. Silence swallows them momentarily before Jenna's phone flickers and dies unexpectedly. The static from the monitors rises, twisted faces flashing across the screens for milliseconds, leaving behind an oppressive silence and a lingering feeling of being watched. The investigators reconvene the following day, unsettled by the previous night's experience. Mike insists that what they saw was an anomaly, possibly a technical glitch or a prank. But Jenna and Carl aren't so sure. They discuss the video footage they captured, scanning through the frames. Their faces turn pale as they spot a tall, shadowy figure hovering in the reflection of the mirror during the ritual, something that wasn't there in person. Determined to understand what they faced, Jenna suggests they dive deeper into the online forums and TikTok videos discussing the Candyman challenge. They spend hours reading through endless threads, searching for connections and explanations. Stories range from harmless pranks to gruesome incidents resulting in disappearances, each retelling more unsettling than the last. The legend's roots dig into urban spaces, weaving with contemporary digital fears. As they explore these threads, they find eerie coincidences linking the mirror used during the ritual, a type often found in old abandoned buildings rumored to be haunted. Inspired, Carl suggests they visit one such location, increasing their chances of encountering genuine phenomena. Despite Mike's reluctance, the group's curiosity and hunger for discovery outweigh their apprehension. Jenna, Mike, and Carl arrive at their chosen site, a dilapidated, old apartment block on the outskirts of town. The building looms against the overcast sky like a forgotten specter. Broken windows and tangled vines adding to its eerie allure. The townsfolk, whisper that the site was once a madhouse where dark rituals occurred, abandoned for decades after mysterious disappearances. Armed with their recording equipment, the team ventures inside. Each creak of the floorboards echoes ominously in the vast silence. Dust dances in the air, stirred by flickering flashlight beams. They wander the corridors, documenting the site while searching for the room that will serve as their testing ground. Tension mounts as they reach the 7th floor, where the energy thickens with an unmistakable feeling of being watched. They set up their equipment in a room with a cracked mirror on the wall, its surface weathered and sinister. Outside, the wind howls, creating haunting melodies through broken window panes. As they begin their second attempt at the ritual, the atmosphere tightens around them, pressing on their minds, demanding attention. It's as though the building itself is a sentient entity, waiting in anticipation for what is to come. As darkness descends, the investigators begin their ritual. The words, "Candyman, Candyman, Candyman," roll off their tongues like a macabre chime. Each repetition seems to warp reality slightly, the room distorting, undulating in unseen waves. At the 5th utterance, the temperature plummets and the lights flicker violently. Suddenly, an oppressive silence falls, followed by a series of disembodied whispers echoing ominously through the corridors. A spectral chill sweeps over them, and shadows move with a life of their own. The figure, previously seen only in reflections, appears briefly in the room, passing through walls in a haze of static. Its presence emits a low, mournful hum that pierces the very marrow of their bones. Panic ensues, and Carl fumbles with the camera, trying to capture an image. But as quickly as it appeared, the figure vanishes, leaving them shivering in terror. The walls close in around them, and it's as if the building itself awakens, breathing through its decrepit structure. Their senses, overrun by fear and an undeniable sense of dread, they gather their equipment and hastily retreat from the room, leaving behind an unsettling stillness. The car ride back is enveloped in silence, a heavy, contemplative silence, each wrapped in their own spiral of fear and disbelief. As they review the footage, what they see fills them with a fresh wave of terror. The figure is not just a shadow. It carries features of melted flesh and eyeless sockets, a presence rippling with malevolence on a static-strewn screen. Jenna connects the dots. It must be an event repeating itself from the original seeds of the Candyman legend, which evolved through the methods of the digital age. Desperate to understand the phenomena, the team decides to reach out to an expert in urban legends and digital folklore, Emily Carr. Emily's research on digitized myths seems too coincidentally fitting to ignore. Emily agrees to assist them, intrigued by the blending boundaries between stories told through analog methods, now warped and expanded by digital mediums. She arrives armed with books on ritual occultism and laptop access to deep web forums only discussed in hushed tones. Together, the group delves further into the darkness, hoping to pull out answers before anything else gets pulled in. In Emily's dimly lit study, surrounded by occult texts and flickering laptop screens, the team pores over their findings. They note a common motif across digital horror stories, an entity born of collective belief, growing stronger through shared fear and the spread of its legend online. Emily theorizes that invoking Candyman through digital mediums might distort the legend, enhancing its power. She leads them through twisted tales of the original Candyman, an urban wraith created through a cycle of violence and injustice, seeking vengeance within the fabric of community fear. But now, Emily suggests that the Candyman has evolved, fed by viral folklore spreading through the internet, emerging with newfound strength. The group debates whether they should attempt to break the cycle or continue documenting their finds. Each feels the pull of both fear and fascination, realizing they are perilously close to losing any distinction between observer and participant in this haunting narrative. Emily proposes a risky experiment to capture a moment where myth becomes tangible, a bridge between reality and digital illusion. The team relocates to a digital laboratory equipped with high-tech recording apparatus and augmented reality setups. The sterile environment buzzes with artificial lights, starkly contrasting the oppressive darkness they've come to associate with Candyman. Here, ritual and technology intersect, a setting warped by both analog fears and digital potentials. They attempt a new version of the ritual, augmented by technology, performed in layers between digital projections and real-world symbols, each movement monitored by an array of sensors feeding data into their system, transforming their actions into a code of symbolic engagement. As they reach the last utterance of Candyman, projections flicker into malevolent life, patterns of static shapeshift into distorting shadows that recoil upon touch, bending around them in a merciless dance. The tiers between digital facades and reality gleam open, hinting at the dreadful truths that lie beyond. The environment seems to rebel, every pixel, every shadow charged with anticipating malice. The ritual concludes with an escalating surge of chaos. The room is overwhelmed by layers of sound and vision, collapsing into discordant entropy. Through the confusion, they receive glimpses of a realm where the divide between digital existence and spectral being no longer exists. Invitations, challenges, commands not from a single device, but from the ether enveloping them. A breach materializes, a monstrous interface where reality and virtual interface like mismatched puzzle pieces, moving figures, echoes of Candyman, issues forth commands, their eyeless stare reading their fears, urging them further into this horror-inflected dimension. Jenna's cries pull them back with the abruptness of snapping silk. The nightmare flickers away. Silence and brightness flood the room, harsh, synthetic, yet undeniably real. A shell of dread remains, They know something of the Candyman is forever tied to them, not just digitally, but layered into the analog pulse of their own mortality. Panic grips them as they try to make sense of what just occurred. Despite the undeniable evidence of digital interference and psychological dissonance, their language fails to articulate this meeting with the impossible. Mike suggests pulling together everything they've documented. The need to understand overrides their fear for now. Armed with unique evidence, they plan an upload to share their findings with the world. Deliberate, careful assembly of their recordings sees them regain a modicum of composure. Each segment of footage selected strengthens the unfolding narrative of the Candyman, both reflection and entity, bridging voids between contradictory spaces. They prepare to release the video that details this synthesis of nightmare and myth. With a deep breath, Jenna updates the title of the viral video, Beyond Candyman, Crossing into Digital Horror. They click Upload, watching the progress bar inch its determined path across the screen, as both wary anticipation and mounting dread fill the air. The repo of their investigation spreads across platforms, quickly scaling into viral status. Public reaction is a tangled braid of terror, disbelief, and intrigue, fueling discussions and spurring many to verify the digital haunting for themselves. Online forums explode with debate, skepticism mixing with emerging unease. Reports surface of more people attempting the Candyman ritual, driven by fractal motives, curiosity, ego, or rebellion against fear. Some vids go quiet soon after, believers growing while rumors conflate. Algorithmically, layers of digital urban myth intertwine, redefining horror itself, shedding disregard for distinctions between man and myth. Through the storm of responses, a DM lands in Jenna's inbox, timed, cryptic, titled with a single word, Awake. Its content, a singular GIF, Candyman's shadow leaping frame by frame through static. An echo shivers across her being as she dismisses the phone shakily, aware that some manifestations remain unsated, hungry beyond initial summoning.